live. Alas, there was no comeback. The Columbus Blue Jackets built a 3-0 lead and kept it, and have eliminated the Toronto Maple Leafs from the Stanley Cup playoffs for the fourth straight year. However you want to look at it, the Toronto Maple Leafs are out in either the qualifiers or the first round, and questions abound. We are live on Facebook here, facebook.com, the Hockey Podcast. You can watch us on video if you're going to listen on this audio. You can follow us on Twitter at podcast_hockey. You can like us, of course, on Facebook, subscribe on iTunes, Google, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We are fired up. We've got lots of things to say. And we've got Sean is here. Hello, Sean. Representing Quinn Hughes.
I think they're actually they're on some technical difficulties.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're here. Are they there?
No, they're not.
Okay. Well, Devin is here.
Yes.
What has happened to Sean and Heidi?
I think it's just shitty internet connection.
Okay. Well, we will keep going until Sean and Heidi come back. If I hear their admittance, they will be back in, but they're going to join us as well. But we're going to be reacting to a game. We're going to be reacting to it's a game. It was a game. It was I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I was purely entertained by this game tonight. But I am going to start. Sorry, Devin. I'm going to start. Have to.
Please.
I have to. I know that Sportsnet refused to do it. I know that Leaf Nation, for the most part, refuses to do it on Twitter. But the Columbus Blue Jackets did exactly what they had to do tonight to win. They got the goal first. They knew that all they needed to do was hang on for dear life with the Matthews, Marner, Tavares non-3M line. And they knew that everything else they could match up. And if they can get another ugly goal, they've got it. And that's exactly what happened. The only forwards after the second period that got a shot on goal that were not named Matthews, Marner, and Tavares were Pierre Engvall, and I can't remember who the other guy was. But there was only two other forwards on the Toronto Maple Leafs in a clinching game that could not get a shot on goal that was not that top line. The Columbus Blue Jackets were full marks for their win tonight. The Columbus Blue Jackets were full marks for this series win. They did exactly what they had to do. They shut down the Leafs pretty much, of that 4-minute span in the third period at Toronto. They pretty much did what they had to do. I think complete kudos goes to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I'm going to say it right now. They are going to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning again. I put it, it's on Facebook. We're going to do it again. Go for it, Devin.
Kudos to the Blue Jackets. They I love great rant. But they deserved the win, and they were able to do exactly what they need to do, and that is shut down that top line and those top four players from scoring. Looking back at the very beginning of the series, we had both, I was scared about the Blue Jackets, and I was not confident going in because I knew with having John Tortorella at the helm that he's just going to shut everything down, and he's going to play trap hockey, and he's going to shut the middle of the ice off and just completely ride his two best players, Werenski and Seth Jones, and yeah, it worked. It worked. So, very much kudos to them. And I agree with you, Kevin. I believe that they're going to, once again, beat Tampa Bay Lightning and move on to the second round of the playoffs, just because of the way they play. They play as a team, period. Oh, man. Okay, now the Leafs. All right, here we fucking go.
Do we have Sean and Heidi there, by the way?
Yep.
Okay, hello, Sean.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay,
I'm
just making
we're here for the good stuff. Yes, we're ready for.
Do you have your popcorn ready? Did they cut out again?
They're cutting in and out.
Oh.
Well, popcorn ready. If they're listening, great. If they're not, well, they're back.
Okay.
So, the Maple Leafs. I am not. I'm more frustrated in the fact that I had to go through what I went through for Game fucking 4, the roller coaster of being okay. All right, it's over. It's done with. Good, fantastic. We're down by 3, less than 4 minutes to go. All right, fine, great. But no, they had to crawl back, tug on my heartstrings, and just give me hope. Why did you have to give me hope? Fuck. I'm in disbelief. I'm in disbelief right now, and just because they gave me hope. And I'm pissed off that we go another year of Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Nylander era, Morgan Riley, and Freddie Anderson, and it's the same shit. And I don't know. I know it needs to happen. I don't know how to feel right now. If I should feel happy that we're going for Lafreniere. We have a 12.5% chance of getting him. If we get him, that's amazing. But as of right now, it's a hard pill to swallow. It really is.
Sean, what will you do if Lafreniere ends up a Leaf?
Oh, I will flip tables. I will throw stuff at the TV. Like, are you kidding me? You cannot give the Leafs Lafreniere. Like, it's just like, if the Leafs or Oilers get Lafreniere, like this freaking league is fucked. Like, it's just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be able to handle it. Plus, they'd be ruining another young player's career. Come on.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, Sean, Heidi, I gave credit to the Blue Jackets. You may have missed it. I've already said it. They are beating the Tampa Bay Lightning in the next series. That is happening. I'm telling you that right now. They are going to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm predicting it right now, but I want to hear it from you guys. What did you think? What were your thoughts? Go. Who's going?
Nope.
Did they leave again? That was the most fired up I introduced them as well.
I know. I love your enthusiasm, Kev. Yeah. It's fantastic. It's good.
Probably Sean and Heidi are probably losing their crap on their internet right now.
Totally. And the reason why, or one of the reasons why, I will not be watching with Sean the draft, or the lottery tomorrow, is because of that reason. Because if Toronto gets Lafreniere, he will be trying to beat me up, and that will not be fun.
So you will not be in the same room, but we are going to actually be reacting live to that pick, whoever that is, at 3:00 Pacific time, 4:00 Mountain, 6:00 Eastern time.
So please tune in. It's going to be fantastic.
That's going to be get your popcorn ready. I'm like, I'm going to save the 7 things I know that Sean wants to talk about, but here is, to me, this is the one thing I want to say. Are they there still?
We're back.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so confused with what's going on with you two.
Sorry, we're having connection issues. We're now tethering the internet from my phone.
Okay.
We're now going to show all the data in my phone for this, so it better be good.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to give you guys the floor. I'll start with Heidi. Go, Heidi.
Okay. What I was going to say was that I'm really happy that Tampa and the Lightning are playing each other again.
The Blue Jackets.
I think so.
The Blue Jackets.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm just all confuddled now. Yes, I'm happy that series is going on again. I'm hoping that it might actually be a little bit more exciting this time. Like it might actually, go back and forth. Are you meaning that you need me to just go off about just everything, the game?
Tell me what you're thinking right now.
Everything.
About that. I am. They actually just released the schedule for the Flames playoff games and first round playoff games, and we have a 3:30 game on Tuesday. So people on the internet are freaking out.
What?
Yep. So
What?
Are they freaking out on Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, right? Everybody freaking out on Twitter. So like I'm thinking about that. Yeah, just in general. I wanted to play the Stars, so I'm actually okay with playing the Stars. I'm trying to think things going on in my head. The Toronto Columbus game was I don't know if I was just really tired, but I was like nodding off watching it.
It was a snooze fest.
That was not you. That was the game. That was
like it was. I found it like completely boring. So, and it was probably the first game of the series that I was actually trying to watch a little bit more intently. And yeah, I was kind of bored. Like there was the odd little thing, but it was boring, and it ended up. I can see why Devin would be upset because that was just like a disappointing Game 5. It could have been exciting like the past two games with crazy comebacks, but.
Sorry, Heidi, I'm going to jump in front of you there because you fired something up in me. The fucking goals that they scored. Holy. From the point, seeing eye shot, oh, man. Not Freddie's fault, but the second one.
The second one was dumb.
Oh, my God. That was painful to watch. I'm on a bit of a delay when I'm watching, and I had my phone in my pocket, and I felt it vibrate multiple times, and we aren't, which means usually that something bad happened. So I already felt it coming, and I saw it happen. Marincin, first of all, should not be on the Leafs. We need better defense. Tyson Barrie, go get Ford $6 billion somewhere else. I'm done with your bullshit. I'm tired of having the putting him on a pedestal. At the beginning of the year, I was so happy and excited that we had him, and he was a complete disappointment. So please, Vancouver Canucks, sign him. Sign him for as long as you want, for as much as you want, and you can understand what I'm feeling right now. Disappointment.
That's the one good thing about the flat cap is they can't afford him.
Now, I don't know. Trading Brock
he might be in Edmonton next year.
God, yes, please. Edmonton, sign him. Sign him.
He might be in Edmonton.
Okay. That part goes back to when we talked with Kevin Woodley. I don't think this actually aired, but he actually did talk about it on Vancouver radio. You do not win championships with 6 Keith Yandles.
Nope,
and
you don't.
Tyson Barrie is a Keith Yandle. You do not win championships with players who cannot play defense.
Yeah.
You look at every cup winner from the last go back years, 20 years. Do you have someone who's a roving defenseman who can't play defense? No. Like you look at the best offensive defensemen have won cups. Like John Carlson, he's a big defenseman who can play defense. Chris Letang, he can play defense. Has Erik Karlsson won a cup? No. Has Tyson Barrie won a cup? No. Like, you cannot win with that. All that being said, yes, Freddie Anderson needed to have that goal. I saw so much on Twitter about the change and how horrible that was. And I just in my brain, all I could do was compare it to how Canucks Twitter reacted when Markstrom let in a very, very similar goal in their game 4 versus Minnesota. It was all, oh, Marky, you need to have that. Leafs Twitter, what's with that change? That's a horrible change. I'm like, no, you need to hold Freddie's feet to the fire on that one. He needs to have that.
0-4 in clinching games is Freddie Anderson. 0-4 in when they can eliminate someone. He has not done it.
Yes, but he's still not the issue. We talked about we've talked about the Oilers. They have the same issue. The Leafs have the same issue. It's not having the right mix on that defense and the right mix in that bottom 6. You keep Engvall for sure. You need Mikheyev. He's a better second, third line player than anyone else on the Leafs right now. You need to figure out how you can get William Nylander to be top end William Nylander. They did not have him tonight.
I didn't think he played that bad.
But when William Nylander is on his game, he's in the front of the net. He's in the dirty areas in front of the net, creating havoc. He wasn't.
That Nylander was that Nylander has only been prevalent for this past year. He has not done it in previous years. So I agree with you. I didn't think he played that bad. I saw him driving the net a couple times. But he definitely needs to be a better difference maker for sure.
But part of that is on Sheldon Keefe for putting him at center while loading up the top line. That was a bad decision. I will put that out there. That was a bad decision. That line is good. That top line is good. But when you have to put William Nylander at center, when he's a better winger, and he plays his top end game as a wing, I'm sorry. And especially when you have the Blue Jackets top pair as one of the best top pairs in the league that can shut down almost any top line, you need to spread that out. You need to find a way to create offense on your second line. And when they took away everyone from William Nylander and put him in center for 2 periods of this game, that did not go. That you saw that they didn't score a single goal. The only line that showed any promise offensively for the Leafs was that top line, and I think Sheldon Keefe needs to hear this. Needs to be held accountable for that, and I think Kyle Dubas needs to be held accountable for how he's built this team.
Devin, go ahead first. I feel like you've got some things to respond.
So you're telling me, Sean, that you would not put your top line together when they showed that they had the balls and they were able to bring us back last game, game 4. You wouldn't put them back together. You wouldn't do that because they showed success? No, I disagree.
3 minutes?
What else? Hold on. Hey, listen. You had your turn. Shut up.
Heidi and I will just sit back and eat our popcorn.
I can. For people who don't know, that is my brother, and I can tell him to shut up when I want to. Shut up. I understand where you're coming from, Sean. I really do. But desperate times call for desperate measures.
I think they hung on too long to it, though. I do see Sean's point on that they probably should have adjusted that earlier than they did, because really what happened was Columbus, they got the goal 2-4. Columbus lines matched up with Toronto's lines, and they were able to win the game. The split happened too late. I will agree with Sean on that. I think that if you start the second period, if you go back to what the lines were, I think you have an opportunity to at least split Jones and Werenski up, possibly. Which, I mean, that we talked about that pair the last time we were together, Devin, and they were outstanding. I think I do agree with Sean on.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I understand where you're coming from with it. I have a hard time putting blame on Sheldon Keefe for that, because then you're going back to the Babcock way of, nope, I'm not changing. I'm not splitting up anybody. I'm not going to ride my top guys. and it's too familiar for me to resort to that. And I once again, yeah, you want to split up that defensive pairing of Werenski and Jones anytime that you get. And looking back on it, maybe you start them split up. Maybe you start it that way, but then when you need them, you need to put them back together and have a Tavares, Marner, Matthews line. But I don't know. It's a hard decision to make. That's the way Keefe does it. He rides his top guys, and he did that during his Calder Cup run, and it was successful. So
But that works only if you have if you have a guy like Alex Kerfoot going. He was not going tonight. He was not on at all.
I have no issues riding your top guys, but you need to ride your top six. It's not one line. You can't be a one line team versus a Tortorella team. You need to be, especially when you got Werenski and Jones that you can throw out there against that top line, as well as a top line of or he's got two lines he can throw against that line and feel comfortable with it. You have to spread it out and find a way to exploit the lack of offensive power that Columbus has. So you can't just let them focus on one line and know that they can kind of grind it out with the rest of the three lines. So I mean I can see why he started that way, but I could see halfway through the first period that it wasn't working. He needed to change it and go back to having a very heavy top six and ride it. Travis Green in Game 4 rode his top six so hard. And then you sprinkle in a little bit of that third line, and you go from there. Whatever your bottom six line that is going that game, you sprinkle them in there to create havoc, and then you ride your top six, not one line. One line just never works in this day and age. You look at any one line team out there, they don't do well because you can game plan for it. Columbus had all this time to game plan for it, and Torts, for all his faults of being an absolute shithead at times and an absolute jackass jerk to media and everything, he's a smart coach. He knows what he's doing, and he had a game plan, and Keefe and the Leafs weren't able to break it, and then they weren't able to, and then they tried to put all their eggs in one basket and didn't work. They had to break away from that within that first half of the first period because it wasn't working.
There was another mistake that I do think Sheldon Keefe has to take some heat for, and that was putting in Andreas Johnson for Nick Robertson. He hadn't played until February. You don't put a guy in a Game 5 situation when you got a guy okay, he's 18. He's 18-year-old Nick Robertson, but he was providing some energy to the team. And Andreas Johnson was a step behind for most of this game. That I think that was another big error that Sheldon Keefe made.
I agree with that one. Andreas Johnson should have not been in the lineup. You try and inject some sort of energy and some fresh legs in there, and that's the reason why he did it. But it was not the right move. Johnson, I believe he was the other player that had a shot on net in the third period, other than that top line. And he wasn't a difference maker. And I feel like Robertson definitely he was a part of the entire series. You got to put him in. Johnson, he just wasn't there. He wasn't there.
Didn't Robertson score two games ago too? I didn't like that move either, and but I still think that the biggest person who needs to answer for this is, because I still think it comes down to roster construction. That blue line's not good enough. The bottom six is not good enough. The mix in the top six, I think it needs tweaking as well, and that comes down to Kyle Dubas. This idea that you can just go for all skill doesn't work. as much as we want it to. We all want it to. We all want the most skilled team to win. We all want a team that can throw out eight different super skilled players to win, because that's the most entertaining. That's not how it works. Let's go to football. There's so many times where the best defense wins. Not the best quarterback, not the team with the best wide receiver, not the team with the best running back. It's the team with the best defense.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest learning curve that the Leafs need to make, and the Oilers as well. Those two teams are tied at the hip in terms of how they need to learn how to develop their team and construct their team.
That's too much of a hot take for me. That is too much of a hot take for me, because they were in discussions with Carolina for potentially getting one of their good defensemen. Nothing happened out of it, but they know that. They know that, Sean. Dubas knows that, period. He understands that he needs to get a better defensive unit out there. You have Cody Ceci.
That was a Kyle Dubas move, though. That was a Kyle Dubas trade in the offseason.
It was, yes.
That trade for long-term cap issues is good. The trade that I'll take exception. I will say is the wrong trade he made, and you talked about it, Kevin, on Twitter. Kadri for Barry.
Yeah.
Hold on, before we get Kadri in bed, I still want to jump in here and talk about the fucking defense. The defense rolling out Marincin. No, he should not have put Marincin in. I feel like he should have put Sandin in. Barry, thank God he's gone. Ceci, thank God he's gone. Yeah, I just don't. I have a hard time letting you, Sean, shit on Dubas so much, because it feels very similar to Brad Treliving. He's very similar to Brad Treliving because he's in on everything. He is in on every single major trade that has happened, but he's just a bridesmaid, right? So, don't
you have to if you're in on everything, don't you have to close the deal at some point in time here?
By what? Throwing in a first rounder? By throwing in Rasmus Sandin?
They lost the first rounder already too for Patrick.
Yeah, but that was for cap issues. Yes, and getting rid of a contract. Period.
Whose fault's that?
What? That wasn't Dubas. That was Lou Lamoriello.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just sitting here and listening to you guys shit on him. Yes, he's made bad decisions. Yes, he has. And all of a sudden, the Canucks GM is a fucking genius when he can't even put two words together. And I don't know. I can't do it, guys. I can't fucking do it.
Well, he's not articulate. We've never claimed he's articulate at all. We know that he's
not perfect at all. He's made a lot of stupid.
He's made a lot of stupid mistakes.
But yeah. Okay. Anyways,
he's found. Let's put it this way. He's found a way to put a team together that is built to play the way that you need to play it in the playoffs. The Leafs are not. The Oilers are not.
Yeah.
The fact that you're talking about a team that has what? Well, when's the last time you won a round?
2 days ago.
When was the last time you won a round?
2 days ago.
Kevin.
Well, before that, it was 2011. But
thank you. Okay.
When was the last time the Leafs won a round?
2004. Thank you. I understand what you're saying, Sean, but you're hyping up the freaking Vancouver Canucks, making them seem like, oh my God, they're gonna win the fucking cup. Listen, stop it. Yeah, you literally just said Benning has made a team that is perfect for the playoffs.
No, right? I said it's built to play the way you need to play in the playoffs. Whether they can actually get through the playoffs is remains to be seen. They're going up against the reigning Cup champs in this next round. It's going to be tough as fuck.
All right, Kevin. Kadri trade. Go.
I just think tonight was a night you needed a Nazem Kadri. And I'm not sitting here telling you that I'm the biggest Nazem Kadri fan, but it was pretty clear to me that if you have a Nazem Kadri play in this type of game, he's a difference maker. And he's shown it with Colorado. He got that winning goal against St. Louis in the round robin. You may not like the way he plays, but his teeth were completely missing in this game. Completely missing. And as much as we want to crap on that Leaf defense, I think Alex, the 4 to 6, 7 to 9, Columbus dominated in that area. Dominated. Without question. Yes. Kadri would have been a complete difference in this series.
And you know what? I hate to say this, but Sean's point of having Nylander at center, yes, Nylander has played center, but imagine putting that top line together with Nazem Kadri centering that second line, and that would have made a major difference. Tyson Barrie, I don't know what you did in Colorado. I don't know how you fucking did it, but you somehow were able to put up points, and here you weren't able to. I don't know if it's a confidence issue. I don't know if it's a Babcock just shit on you for too long for you to, try and figure it out. But you are definitely not as advertised. And Nazem Kadri, he sorely missed.
And that's the type of team that you need in the playoffs. Those are the type of players that you need. And that's why I think Sean's point is there wasn't enough teeth in the Leafs, and the Blue Jackets are full of teeth. It wasn't like, it's not in that chippy, slash you sort of way, but they know how to win hockey games. And
Jason Spezza stepping up and fighting. Jason fucking Spezza fighting. That says everything. And that is your turning point in Game 4. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I just want to preface that, with me trying to make sure that my Leafs are somewhat, not getting just completely shit on this entire time. They don't deserve that, but they were not better than the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets won that series fair and square. They were able to shut down the middle. They were able to shut down the top players, and they're gritty. They have, as Kevin said, the teeth that are able to gnaw away at you. And good on them. I really hope they do well moving forward. And you know what, Sean? I cannot wait to see your face when Lafreniere gets picked or is going to be a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Oh.
All right, Dev. All right, I have one. I just have one question. Who on the Leafs has the teeth? Who on the Leafs has the ability to absolutely drive someone absolutely bonkers and get under the skin of the opposing players?
Jake Muzzin, and he was sorely missed. Sorely missed.
What about up front?
Up front, one person that he played very well, but should have had more grit and determination was Kyle Clifford. Where the reason why we went and picked you up was because of that, and he was not there. He wasn't there. So yeah, you are missing that. Kasperi Kapanen showed little spurts here and there throughout the season. He had a fight, which I never thought he was going to be a fighter, but he fought this year. And other than that, Zach Hyman, he's a big body, but he doesn't use him much. He's grinding in the corners. Matthews, whenever he throws a hit once every 5 games, that big body, and it's not there. It's not there. Period.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where Kadri could have come in.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what's missing from this team is bite, is teeth, is piss you off, so that every fan on the opposing from the opposing team it just hates you. They don't have that. Like, you look at the Blues, O'Reilly plays that way. Shen plays that way. They've got Sanford. They've got Barbashev. They've got multiple players who do that. Washington, they've got Kuznetsov, who drives you nuts personally. They've got Tom Wilson, who drives everyone fucking nuts. Like, it's just, They don't
Except
have
Mike Milbury.
That's the biggest thing. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with like again. I'm sorry, Devin, if this is really what part that really pisses you off. But I think they're tied at the hip in terms of figuring out how to construct a team. Is Edmonton? Who do they have that can piss you off like no other? They got Zach Kassian who can do it. Who's a third line player who can do it maybe once every 3 games. Who else? They have no one in their top 6 that can do it. You need someone in your top 6 that can drive other teams nuts, and that's what top teams have.
The irony of all this talk about pissing people off, man. Who? I mean, the Canucks pass over one of the biggest pests coming up in the league, and it's just kind of funny that way. But yeah, you are right. You're right. They're missing that grit. They're missing that that grinding pest, if you will. So yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, Sean. You're not wrong.
Okay, so Sean, I want to. When we were on with the Fireside folks after the Calgary game, Dan suggested that Toronto was going to have this was going to be one of their biggest off seasons, and he suggested the name John Tavares. Where do you stand on that?
No, he's the captain. They've gone that route with him, and they're not going to trade him.
And he's got a no move in anyway. But
yeah, if they're moving anyone, it's going. I wouldn't be surprised if it's William Nylander. I know Devin would hate that. I just see that as someone they could move and get someone who can help them in terms of whether or not it's a defenseman, because they need outside of Morgan Riley. Do they actually have a top 4 and Jake Muzzin? Do they have a top 4 defenseman right now? They're hoping for they're hoping for Sandin and Liljegren right now, and after that, there's not much there.
One more, Travis Dermott. He had
they're hoping for
hell. No, hey,
he's not. He's not top 4. Devin, he's not top 4. He's not.
He's top 4. Are you kidding me? God,
he's top 4.
He played an amazing series. He's fucking underrated, and you guys should take another look at him. You guys should look at the last 5 games that he played, and he played fantastic. I love the way that he's played, and I thought that he's a top 4 defenseman in my mind.
I would go no higher than 4, maybe.
He's a number 4 right now, but you basically have a 2. Well, no, a 1/2 in Riley. The only reason I'm not saying he's a bona fide number 1 is I don't see I'm just missing one little bit in terms of like being able to change the game, like a lot of true number 1s can. Riley's so close. He's so close to being that way, though. I hope he gets there because I like him as a player, and I think he's a fantastic player to watch.
Definitely, I think a guy should be at least considered for the Olympic team, and he is Canadian. This time,
he actually is Canadian, Kevin.
This time, I'm right. Okay,
but it's just, and then you look at, but you look at that, and okay, so let's say that they go into next year with Riley, Muzzin, and Dermott as your 3, and then you throw in maybe Sandin or Liljegren. Then you have. I still think there's missing. I still think you're missing some true someone who you can throw up and down the pairs. As much shit as Tyler Myers gets, and it's very well deserved, especially in this past series where he just couldn't stay out of the box. He's someone you could throw up and down the lineup. Who on the Leafs can you feel comfortable doing that?
Travis Dermott. I truly believe that he can play it, and he got played very hard in this past game, and especially without Tyson Barrie. But they do need to do something with that top their top 4-headed monster, if you will, up front. And I feel like Nylander is the odd one out. And that's who you do it for. You get a Pesci from Carolina, or you somehow great cap room And if Pietrangelo is on the market, you go hard on him because he's a game maker. He's a difference maker. So, going forward, it's going to be a very interesting offseason. And who knows?
You keep saying Carolina, Devin, and I just don't know how easy it is going to be to get a defenseman out of there.
It's not going to be easy to get any good defenseman out of anywhere. Period.
No, but
the thing with Carolina is, I don't think he's the one they're going to move. Pesce. You keep mentioning Pesce, and I don't think he's the one they're going to move out.
The only reason why I mentioned Pesce is because he was in trade talks earlier in the year with Nylander.
Yeah, I know that, but I think going forwards, I think I think that the East Final is now going to be Carolina-Philadelphia.
I'm calling Carolina beating Boston too. I'm calling that one as well. Yeah. Book it. Carolina is going to beat Boston.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna understand that their strength is defense, and even though he's out, he is such a good defenseman, and they know that. They will not give him up. That being said, Devin, the one defenseman that I think that could go to the Leafs if he gets to market, Chris Tanev. And I will hate it because the Canucks need to keep him.
If the Canucks don't keep him,
if he gets to market, they need to be all over him. He's exactly the defenseman they need.
Yep.
Or a Tanev or a Travis Hamonic, even a Warrior type.
Yeah. So someone cut from the same cloth for sure. Hamonic, yeah. He could definitely be on his way out too. Yeah. But it'd be completely stupid of Vancouver to let Tanev walk.
It would.
Okay. We'll talk about the schedule here in a moment because as well. But I want to flip this, and I want to spend a little bit more time talking about the Columbus Blue Jackets because they won this series, and I think that we deserve to give them the credit that they deserve. I know that Sportsnet spent most of the time talking about the Leafs. The Leafs Twitter was talking about the Leafs, but there was another team in there. These pucks did not go in by invisible people. They wore jerseys. It was ugly. It was not exciting. It had us all nodding off. But John Tortorella knows how to win series. He's done it before. He's going to do it again. And they've constructed a team that is going to be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah. Columbus, I feel like they're going to go far. Going in, I'm gonna pull a Sean, and I'm gonna say going into the playoffs, I said that Carolina and the Columbus Blue Jackets are going to do very well because they are structured very well and they are team oriented and they have good coaches who deploy their roster the best way that they can. Defense first, yes, and they showed it. They showed it in potentially the heaviest, one of the heaviest or top heavy teams in the NHL with the Maple Leafs, Tavares, Matthews, Marner, and now they're going to go with another top heavy team with the Tampa Bay Lightning, Braden Point, Stamkos, and who's that other guy? What is the name? Kucherov, is it?
Kucherov.
Yes, yeah. I think he's good. So, he's gonna. I feel like they're gonna do the exact same thing. It's gonna be a longer series for sure. But yeah, they played very well and were able to pull it off.
Well, the big thing for the Lightning is that they don't have Stamkos and Hedman at full health.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised to see Hedman early in the series.
Yeah, and that's huge. That again. Full-on number one defenseman with a bullet. Luckily, they've got McDonough who can step in short-term at that. But yeah, I still think Columbus is taking this mostly because they've got because of those injuries. If Tampa's healthy and they've got that motivation from last year, I think they come out on top, but they're not healthy. I think that you look, Pierre-Luc Dubois does not get enough credit for the type of player he is. Again, Liam Foudy, holy crap, that kid's got wheels.
Yep.
He is a speedy player. Like, holy crap. Like, he deserves a lot of credit for how he played in that series. And getting a goal, no matter how garbage it was a nice cherry on top for Liam Foudy tonight. And he deserves a lot of credit. And it's just it's good to see. And then you'll just look down the lineup. Like, they can, if Columbus is healthy, they can throw out Dubois, Atkinson, Texier. Again, Texier, another underrated player.
Yeah, very underrated.
Really enough credit.
Second year in the league for Texier, and he's definitely come on hard, and he's played very well.
And then their second line is Nyquist, Jenner, and Foligno, and that line can go up against any line, in my opinion. Boone Jenner is one hell of a grinding, checking center who can still produce. And if he's the type of center that if he was playing in any big market would be getting so much more attention than he's getting right now.
He'd probably be nominated for a Selke. I think there would be a lot of conversation around him for being a Selke.
He's not quite there. He's not at that Couturier level, because I think Couturier was there for a little bit until people actually caught on, because Philly's a bigger market. He's not quite there, but he's close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oliver Bjorkstrand, Kevin and I are very high on this player. And I know Sean is too, but Kevin and I have been talking about him for the past couple podcasts, and he's very underrated being on that third line.
Mm-hmm. And then your bottom six centers are Riley Nash and Alex Wenberg. Like, they've got the depth down the center, as you said in one of our last ones. You look at the depth down the center to try and figure things out. I love that depth down the center for Columbus. That's tough to beat. When they lined up tonight with Alex Wenberg as their fourth line center, like he's scored 50 points in this league. He's a fantastic playmaking center. I do think he needs to get out of Columbus to actually become who he can be. I don't think he's a torch player, and that's just why he's on the fourth line. But he's still doing a good job for them.
Yeah, and their goaltending, it gets the job. I mean, think about this: Sergei Bobrovsky for $10 million a year is in Florida. I think trying to catch an Uber to get out of that whatever bubble that they're in, and it's in a disaster. And look at their goaltending now.
Yeah, Merzlikins and Korpisalo, they proved that you can put them out halfway through a game or starting a game, both of those goaltenders, and they can get the job done there. Keeping those guys is going to be massive. And if you feel like they need to change it up halfway through a game, no problem. Merzlikins can jump in, and Korpisalo can sit on the bench, and vice versa. They have two solid goaltenders that can actually potentially steal and carry them into the next round.
Heidi?
Yep. I got nothing. I got nothing.
I figured we should be trying to throw there.
You've now killed my brain.
The thing with Columbus, I just looked at they're you know who they're missing, and
Josh Anderson.
Going back to someone who can get under their skin and piss you off, Josh Anderson.
Yeah,
he's back and is playing it at least 80% of how we can play. That has an absolutely different level of like another like wrinkle into Columbus's game too. Yeah,
I just think they're a complete team. I think they're a tough matchup, and they're playing the Torch way. And really, Duchesne, Dzingel, Bobrovsky. Duchesne's no longer there and no longer in the playoffs. Bobrovsky's no longer there, and Dzingel's not in the playoffs, and the Columbus is. So, Why am I blanking on the GM's name right now? But he deserves a lot of credit for what they've constructed.
Jarmo Kekalainen.
Kekalainen. Yes, I think I was saying Jesperi. I was about to say Jesperi Kotkaniemi. That's why.
Maybe not yet. Maybe a bit later on. Sportsnet actually came out with some stats that I think are very relevant. Freddie Anderson in the last 8 potential series clinching games is 0-8, goals against average 3.49, and save percentage of .877. That's just not good enough. And one more for you. Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander combined 0 goals in their 3 career winner-take-all games.
You know what? He's going to face some criticism tonight, but I really thought that overall that Austin Matthews made a step in the right direction. In this series, I thought he was probably, I would say he was probably the best Leaf forward in this series, and I don't think a lot of this will fall on him tonight, but I know that the stats are going to look a certain way. But I thought he took a progression in the right direction.
He showed this playoffs that he cared, and that he actually gave a shit, and that he's not just there for making bank and making his paycheck. I'm really happy to see the steps that he took, and talk about positives. He's definitely one of them. Tavares, I think, was up there too, even though he was non-existent in a couple of games. I thought Tavares played very well tonight. And okay, imagine one thing we haven't talked about yet, but imagine if he actually scored the open net goal instead of hit the post and been a 1-1 game. How different that would have changed the game.
Sure. Yep. And then Mikheyev hit a post too. Yep.
Yep. And
I hate doing Mikheyev, like the not what Mikheyev. It's Mikheyev.
Mikheyev. I hate using those what if. I just hate that game, the what if game. It's such bullshit, and what if? It doesn't matter. The end result is the end result. But as far as positives go, Austin Matthews, you deserve an A- in my rankings.
That being said, Dev, like hockey's a sport where one event that goes either one way or the other can change the way a game is played. If Tavares scores on that, it's a completely different game.
Totally. Yep.
So it sucks to play that what if game, but I've done it. I've done it with Canucks games all the time. Where like everyone's just complaining and just going off. I'm like, you do realize that they hit like 2 posts, and if they had not hit one of those posts and it had gone in, the game's different, right?
Yeah. No, totally.
You're playing with emotions on real people with emotions and how they react to that.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto scores there. This game is different. I wouldn't be surprised if they win that.
Yeah,
so
I wouldn't be either.
they didn't roll over and die either, and I think that's something that Leafs fans need to take there. They didn't roll over and die. They were going for it till the end. Like it just wasn't meant to be, unfortunately, for Leafs fans, and I think you can go throughout it, and we've done it all, like roster construction, all that, but sometimes it is just unfortunate luck, and I think it's a little bit of everything, right?
For sure.
Anything else on this game in specific that we want to talk about?
No.
Okay. Heidi, we have the schedule for the Flames, Dallas Stars, and Canucks St. Louis Blues. Have they come out?
I didn't pull out for the other teams in the West.
No, just the Flames and the Canucks.
Yeah, I got them in our podcast chat.
Yeah. Okay. So, did you want to just quickly read them, or?
Yeah, I can do that. So for the Flames, Game 1 is on Tuesday, so this is all Mountain Time, by the way. Game 1 on Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. So that is going to not be very happy for a lot of Flames fans living in Calgary, unless you are, I know, like me, that I'm sure I can just I know I can get up earlier and start my job earlier and finish earlier. So hopefully so if anyone else is out there is listening, maybe you can ask your boss if you can do the same. Thursday, the 13th, the game starts at 8:30. I was really hoping that the games would not be doing this whole 8:30 start thing during the week, because it is far too late for me, who gets up early for work, but maybe that's just me. Game 3 is on Friday at 8:30, so that's fine, I think, for most people. Game 4 is on Sunday at noon, which is interesting. So, and then if we need 5, 6, and 7, their times have not been announced, but will be on the Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Don't worry, they won't. It'll be a sweep by the Flames.
Oh, hold on. I need the there. Okay. And then for Vancouver?
Yeah, okay. I will read Vancouver ones too. What do we got here? All right, I gotta make sure. So these I think are in Pacific. So I will read them out. These are Pacific time. So game 1 is on Wednesday at 7:30. Game 2 is on Friday at 3:30. I think they both kind of both the Flames and the Canucks kind of get this weird afternoon game. Game 3 is on Sunday at 7:30. So at least in this household, we'll have both teams get to play on Sunday.
Friday and Sunday.
That's right. Yes, actually, that's true. Yeah. So that'll be fun. And then Monday also at 7:30 for the Canucks.
Back to back, game 3 and 4. Interesting.
Yeah.
Flames get 2 and 3.
Yeah. So there sounds like there's going to be some back-to-backs. I'm really surprised they didn't do a rotation Calgary, Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
I'm kind of just to comment back on the Flames one. I always find the Flames, when they have to play an afternoon game, they are a little icky looking. Like you can tell that they aren't used to it. And it's a lot of those East teams, the metropolitan teams, that seem to play a lot of more of these afternoon games, and when the Flames seem to play them, they don't do very well. So that kind of freaks me out a little bit on Saturday, but so I'm excited to have another week of hockey.
I'm surprised they do have back-to-backs, honestly. You have 4 series per hub. You can have 2 games a day. You can just go back and alternate. I don't understand. Yeah, you maybe save a day or 2 at the end of it. I don't understand. Don't you want the best hockey? Why are you going back to back?
Yeah, this schedule's weird. I'm really surprised by this schedule, because I would have went.
I'm looking at it as the Thursday, Friday. At least they're the same start times. I think that was one of the things that really worked in the Canucks' favor, despite everything with their back-to-back from games 3 to game 4, was that it was back-to-back, but they played an afternoon game on Thursday and then a late game on Friday. So they had an extra 5-6 hours to get ready. While the Flames and the Canucks both have 8 back-to-back games on the same start times. Yeah. They're both 8:30 Mountain Time starts for the back-to-backs. So I don't get it. You have all this time. It's not like we're doing anything else.
No, that's very true. There's not much else going on. We'll we'll save the delving into the series tomorrow. A little bit more, Devin. Poor Devin. I just feel for you, man. I feel for you today. You
Devin likes another team, allegedly, though. So a team that actually is, still in these playoffs. So
that's true, Devin.
He could be retiring that hat and that shirt for the next 2 months.
Thank God it's only for 2 months, but yeah, it sounds like I'll be repping the red and black. So good. Yeah.
You're wearing the flying skate for the Canucks?
No. God, no.
Is there black in this jersey?
No, there's black in the sea of red, though.
I wore shenanigans because we've got shenanigans now, and tomorrow, by the way, we are going to go live during the reaction of who gets the first pick of a National Hockey League draft. Will it be the Pittsburgh Penguins? Will it be the Edmonton Oilers? Will it be the Toronto Maple Leafs? And then we just lose it, or will it be someone else? So we will be live 3:00 Pacific. That goes down. So you're going to hear our reactions to it.
Let's go Jets.
I think that's the Canadian favorite, the Jets. I think if it's Florida, I think people might just cry for him, but who knows?
That'll be hilarious. So
yeah. But so we will be back for that. How do we follow everyone on Twitter?
I am Beardy Canuck 03 on Twitter.
I am at Heidi Baseballs on Twitter and everywhere on social media.
I am Gordhouse09 on Twitter.
And I am KEVOLE. Tyler's T Noble. Chris is Schneid's SCHNEIDZ. Podcast _hockey. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe on iTunes, Google, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. And until tomorrow, when we freak the hell out over where Alexis Lafreniere ends up, we will talk to you all soon. Bye for now.